Welcome to China, where a new year begins not with a date, but with the rhythm of the moon. Lunar New Year. Every year, when winter begins to loosen its grip and the moon reaches its darkest phase, China prepares for its most important celebration, Chinese New Year, or Spring Festival. It's not just a holiday. It's a nationwide homecoming. Over 1 billion people across cities and countrysides pack their bags, board trains, planes, motorbikes, all headed in one direction, home. Red lanterns begin to glow above doorways. The character, meaning fortune, is pasted upside down, inviting blessings to arrive. Children laugh as they receive red envelopes, hongbao, filled with lucky money. Firecrackers snap in the cold air to drive away evil spirits, echoing a legend centuries old. Families gather around the dinner table, and what's served is more than food, it's tradition. Whole fish for prosperity, dumplings shaped like ancient coins, glutinous rice cakes for growth and good fortune. The meal is long. The stories are familiar. The feeling is timeless. Outside, dragon and lion dances shake the streets with music and movement. Drums pound like heartbeats of a people celebrating not just a new year, but resilience, reunion, and renewal. In the background, the lunar calendar guides it all, shifting the festival each year between late January and mid-February. And with each turn of the zodiac, a new animal steps forward. In 2025, it will be the year of the snake, a symbol of wisdom, elegance, and quiet strength. Chinese New Year is not just marked on calendars, it's written into the rhythm of life. A moment when past, present, and future sit at the same table. When time pauses and hope begins again. In the early hours of the day, while the city still stretches and yawns, steam begins to rise from bamboo baskets stacked high in dim sum restaurants across China. Dim sum, which means touch the heart, is not just a meal. It's a ritual, a rhythm, a shared moment that blends food, family, and tradition. Born from the old tea houses of southern China, especially in Cantonese regions, dim sum was originally a snack for travelers along the Silk Road. Today, it's a beloved breakfast and brunch tradition, one that turns the table into a stage of small, delicate wonders. Each dish is a bite-sized story. Translucent har-gow filled with shrimp, fluffy char siu bao oozing with sweet roasted pork, silky rice noodle rolls, sesame balls, lotus leaf sticky rice, and egg tarts with golden crusts that crumble at the first touch. But dim sum isn't eaten in silence. It's lively, it's loud, its laughter echoing over clinking teacups and carts weaving between tables. More than food, it's a way of slowing down in a fast-moving world, of savoring not just flavors, but company. To eat dim sum is to experience a culture that believes the best things in life are meant to be shared. Hidden in the misty bamboo forests of Sichuan, a quiet black and white figure moves gently through the undergrowth. This is the giant panda, China's national treasure and one of the most beloved animals on Earth. With their round faces, soft eyes, and slow, deliberate movements, pandas seem almost meditative. They spend most of their day doing just one thing, eating bamboo, up to 14 hours a day. And yet, there's something captivating in that simplicity. Once on the brink of extinction, the giant panda has become a powerful symbol of wildlife conservation. Thanks to years of dedicated research and global cooperation, places like the Chengdu Research Base now protect, study, and breed these gentle creatures. To see a panda is more than a tourist moment, it's an emotional one. You witness a living link between ancient China and its modern environmental efforts. A reminder that strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes, it munches quietly on bamboo, surrounded by the sound of rustling leaves. It winds like a stone dragon across mountains, deserts, and time. Over 21,000 kilometers of stone, brick, and earth, stretching farther than the eye can follow, and deeper than most of us ever imagine. This is the Great Wall of China. Not just a wall, but the greatest architectural undertaking in human history. Built over 2 millennia by different dynasties, the wall began as scattered fortifications, eventually linked and expanded to form a vast shield against invaders from the north. But it became more than a barrier. It became a symbol of endurance, of ambition, of a civilization determined to outlast the centuries. Every stone was laid by hand. It is said that for every meter of wall, a life was lost. And yet it stands, through snow and sand, through war and peace. The wall has watched over emperors and farmers, merchants and soldiers, caravans of silk and spices along the ancient trade routes. Today, it welcomes travelers from every corner of the world. Some sections are restored, grand and proud. Others are crumbling, wild, reclaimed by nature. But each step you take is a step across time. Each brick holds stories whispered by the wind. The Great Wall is not just something to see. It's something to feel beneath your feet. A reminder that what humanity builds with sacrifice, vision, and will can last thousands of years. Beijing is a city where 3,000 years of history stand face to face with a future rising in steel and glass. Once the heart of imperial power, it was home to 24 emperors from the Ming and Qing dynasties, who ruled from within the vermilion walls of the Forbidden City, a sprawling palace of 9,000 rooms, golden rooftops, and precise symmetry. Just steps away, Tiananmen Square stretches wide and solemn, a space of ceremony, memory, and change. But Beijing is more than marble monuments. It's alive. In its hutongs, the narrow alleys lined with traditional courtyard homes, neighbors swap stories over bowls of noodles, children race past carved doorways, and life moves at a gentler pace. Temples and lakes sit alongside tech towers and highways. This is a city of contrasts. Emperors once passed through in silence. Today, bicycles, buses, and bullet trains hum through its veins. At night, the air fills with the scent of grilled lamb skewers and steaming dumplings as food stalls light up street corners. And by day, it belongs to scholars, artists, workers, and dreamers. Beijing doesn't just preserve China's story, it continues to write it. Hangzhou is a city where nature and culture move in perfect rhythm. Once described by Marco Polo as the finest and most splendid city in the world, Hangzhou is most famous for its jewel, West Lake. More than just a body of water, West Lake is a living painting, one that shifts with the hours and seasons. In spring, its shores bloom with peach blossoms and weeping willows. In autumn, mist hangs low above stone bridges and pagodas reflected on still waters. Locals rise early to walk the lakeside paths, sip Longjing tea, or sit in silence beneath ancient trees. The lake's beauty has inspired poets, emperors, and painters for centuries, and today, it continues to soothe the modern soul. Beyond the lake, Hangzhou is also the birthplace of dragonwell tea, one of China's most prized green teas, still picked by hand in the surrounding hills. In the city's quiet gardens, stone pathways and pavilions are arranged like poetry, designed to mimic mountains, rivers, and harmony itself. But Hangzhou is not trapped in the past. Tech giants rise from its outskirts, a symbol of modern China reaching forward. And yet, just a few minutes away, fishermen still cast nets by hand, and silk vendors still roll bolts of shimmering fabric in age-old markets. Hangzhou is a place where past and present don't compete, they flow together. It invites you not to rush, but to wander. Not to consume, but to reflect. In a fast-moving world, Hangzhou whispers a different truth, that beauty, when rooted in stillness, can last forever. Shanghai is a city where the future was invited in, and the past refused to leave. Standing on the banks of the Huangpu River, it is China's largest city and one of the world's busiest ports, where history and progress collide in spectacular fashion. On one side, the Bund unfolds like an architectural time capsule, neoclassical and Art Deco buildings that once housed foreign banks and trading houses during the colonial era. Walk its promenade, and you'll feel the echoes of 19th century opulence mixed with modern-day energy. Across the river, Pudong rises like a science fiction dream. Glass towers, needle-like skyscrapers, the iconic Oriental Pearl Tower, all signs of a city sprinting toward tomorrow. But amid the steel and speed, old Shanghai still breathes. In neighborhoods like Yuan, narrow lanes twist between wooden homes, tea houses, and craft stalls. Inside the Yew Garden, centuries-old landscaping turns space into poetry, with rocks, water, and pavilions speaking the language of calm. In Shanghai, contrasts don't clash, they complement. Street vendors sell dumplings beside luxury malls. Taoist temples sit quietly behind LED-lit billboards. And when night falls, the skyline bursts to life, not just with light, but with ambition. This is not a city that rests. It reinvents itself every day. Shanghai doesn't ask whether to look forward or backward. It simply does both at once, effortlessly. Here, the past is not forgotten, and the future never waits. Shenzhen is a city that wasn't built over centuries. It was launched like a rocket. Just 4 decades ago, it was a sleepy fishing village near the border with Hong Kong. Today, it is one of the fastest-growing and most innovative cities on the planet, a glowing symbol of China's rise into the future. Glass towers stretch into the clouds. Tech hubs buzz with energy. Markets overflow with parts and prototypes. This is the home of invention. A place where smartphones are assembled, drones are tested, and the next big idea is already being coded. But beneath all the speed and ambition, Shenzhen still carries traces of its past. In older neighborhoods, temples nestle between apartment blocks, and elders play cards beneath banyan trees. In sprawling parks, families walk among sculptures and lotus ponds. And in places like OCT Loft, art and industry collide. where former factories now house galleries, cafes, and performance spaces. Shenzhen is not a city that waits for tradition, it builds new ones. It's bold, young, restless, but also reflective, green, and open. A city of migrants, dreamers, and makers. Here, change isn't feared, it's expected. Shenzhen doesn't ask who you are, it asks what you're building. And if you listen closely, you'll realize, it's not just a city of the future, it's the future already happening. Xi'an is where China's story begins. Long before Beijing, before Shanghai, Xi'an was the beating heart of an ancient empire. Once known as Chang'an, it served as the capital for 13 dynasties and the eastern gateway of the Silk Road, where merchants, monks, and messengers set off across deserts toward the west. Today, the city still holds that weight of time. Walk through the old city walls, some of the most intact in all of China, and you'll feel history beneath your feet. Towering gates and stone pathways lead to markets filled with the scents of cumin, chili, and fresh hand-pulled noodles. But nothing captures the soul of Xi'an like the terracotta army, thousands of life-sized clay soldiers, horses, and chariots buried to guard Emperor Qin Shi Huang in the afterlife. Each face is unique. Each figure handcrafted over 2,000 years ago, yet standing in silent formation, frozen in time. The discovery in 1974 changed how the world saw ancient China, not as myth, but as mastery. Beyond the warriors, Xi'an is a city of mosques and temples, of calligraphy and street food, of ancient poetry and modern rhythm. In the Muslim quarter, cultures intertwine in sizzling woks and stone alleys, where lamb skewers and sesame flatbreads are passed hand to hand. Xi'an isn't just a relic of the past, it's a crossroads. A city where dynasties once ruled, and today, where travelers still arrive, searching not only for China's origins, but perhaps a piece of their own. In Chengdu, life doesn't rush, it flows. Nestled in the heart of Sichuan province, Chengdu is a city that feels both ancient and effortlessly modern. Here, the streets are shaded by old willow trees, and the air carries the scent of spice and blooming flowers. Locals gather in tea houses, not for business, but for conversation, chess, and hours of slow laughter. Tea culture here is not a trend, it's a way of life. In the city's traditional parks, elders play mahjong, sip jasmine tea, and listen to birds in bamboo cages. But Chengdu is also a place of great wonder. It is the home of the giant panda. Just outside the city, the Chengdu Research Base allows you to see these gentle black and white creatures in a setting close to their natural habitat. Watching a panda chew bamboo or roll lazily on the grass is a moment of pure stillness, a glimpse into nature's softer side. Yet, Chengdu isn't only quiet. At night, food stalls come alive with sizzling woks and bowls of spicy Sichuan hot pot, where tongues burn but spirits rise. Chili, garlic, peppercorn. The flavor here is bold, unforgettable. The city also pulses with creativity, art districts, indie music, and slow-living cafes tucked into restored courtyard homes. Chengdu is not a place that demands, it invites. It invites you to slow down, to savor, to breathe. While other cities build upward, Chengdu builds inward, into memory, taste, and connection. It is one of China's oldest cities, yet somehow one of its most youthful. And once you've sat beside a cup of tea under the shade of a willow, you'll understand why no one here is ever in a hurry to leave. Chongqing is a city of extremes, of mountains and rivers, of fog and fire. Often called the Mountain City, Chongqing rises boldly from the steep banks where the Yangtze and Jialing rivers meet. It's one of the largest and most densely populated municipalities in the world, but also one of the most unique. Here, the land never lies flat. Roads twist and rise like dragons climbing hills, buildings cling to cliffs, and trains pass through skyscrapers, literally. This is not a city designed on a grid, it's carved from the landscape itself. Each morning, a soft mist floats through the high rises, giving the city a dreamlike glow. Locals call it Fog City, where moisture hugs the hills and shrouds the skyline in mystery. But as soon as the sun burns through the clouds, Chongqing shows its fire. The streets blaze with heat, not only from the subtropical climate, but from its famously spicy cuisine. This is the true capital of hot pot. Everywhere you go, bubbling pots overflow with red chili, Sichuan peppercorn, garlic, and oil, fiery, numbing, addictive. It's not just a meal, it's a social ritual, a challenge, a celebration. You don't eat Chongqing hot pot casually, you survive it. But there's more to Chongqing than spice. This city was once China's wartime capital, a place of resistance during World War II. Old bunkers and underground tunnels still hide beneath the busy surface. And in places like Sikiku Ancient Town, cobbled alleys echo with the past. Tea houses, opera stages, and century-old shops where time seems to slow. There, you'll find craftsmen shaping porcelain by hand and vendors selling traditional snacks like glutinous rice cakes and preserved plums. At night, Chongqing transforms into a river of neon. Bridges glitter over black water, monorails glow like serpents in motion, and hillside buildings stack up like a sci-fi cityscape. The most iconic view? Hongya Cave, a glowing cliffside structure of wooden houses, stacked like a glowing village out of a myth. Inside, it's a maze of restaurants, street food stalls, and craft stores, buzzing with energy. Despite its scale, Chongqing feels surprisingly intimate. People greet each other in local dialect, strangers share hot pot tables, and there's always a story being told, sometimes loudly, with laughter rising above the roar of traffic and ferries. The Yangtze, long the cradle of civilization, flows past it all, carrying with it the weight of history and the force of tomorrow. Chongqing doesn't try to impress, it overwhelms. It's not polished, not gentle, but it's unforgettable. A place where concrete jungles meet mountain peaks, where fire meets water, where past and future collide in a city built vertically, chaotically, and with unmatched spirit. To know China's heart, you must feel its fire, and Chongqing is where it burns brightest. Tucked away in the misty hills of Hunan province lies a town where time moves differently, slower, softer, quieter. Fenghuang, or Phoenix Ancient Town, is a place that seems to exist between legend and reality. Along the banks of the Tuo River, traditional stilt houses lean over the water, their wooden stilts reflected in the glassy surface like brushstrokes in an ink painting. In the early morning, fog drapes the rooftops, bells chime faintly in the distance, and the scent of wood smoke and river mist fills the air. This town has stood for centuries, surviving dynasties, wars, and change, yet its soul remains untouched. Narrow cobbled streets wind between stone walls, where artisans carve jade, embroider silk, and write poems with bamboo brushes. Locals carry baskets of fresh vegetables across moss-covered bridges. The Miao and Tujia ethnic minorities still live here, wearing traditional dress and keeping ancestral festivals alive. Their songs echo from hilltops, telling stories that were never written down but passed from voice to voice. As day unfolds, sunlight dances on the river, where wooden boats glide past red lanterns hanging from the eaves. You can sip rice wine in a riverside tea house or listen to the rhythms of a drum performance echoing through the alleys. But it's at night when Fenghuang becomes magic. The entire town glows, red, gold, and warm. Lanterns reflect on the water, and laughter rises from the old bridges as travelers and locals gather like characters in an ancient scroll. Fenghuang is not just a beautiful town, it's a feeling. A place where nostalgia hangs in the air like incense, where history still breathes through wood and stone. To step into Fenghuang is to step into a painting and never want to leave. In the very heart of Beijing lies a place where silence echoes louder than sound. The Forbidden City, the largest ancient palace complex in the world. For over 500 years, it was the seat of imperial power in China, home to 24 emperors of the Ming and Qing dynasties. Once forbidden to commoners, this walled city of nearly 1,000 buildings was a universe reserved only for royalty, guarded by red walls and golden roofs that shimmer under the Beijing sun. Stepping through the Meridian Gate, you enter not just a palace, but a carefully orchestrated symbol of heaven's mandate. Every detail was designed with cosmic significance, from the layout aligned to cardinal directions, to the number of dragon carvings in the halls, even the colors used. Red for joy and fortune. Yellow, the color of emperors. The stones you walk on were once forbidden to even touch unless you served the throne. As you move from courtyard to courtyard, past marble staircases and lacquered columns, the scale of it becomes almost spiritual. In the Hall of Supreme Harmony, emperors once held court under the gaze of golden dragons. In quiet chambers, they studied Confucian texts, performed rituals, and made decisions that changed the course of history. Yet for all its grandeur, there's a haunting stillness here, as if the walls still remember every secret whispered behind silk screens. Today, the Forbidden City is no longer closed. Millions walk these ancient paths each year, guided by curiosity, reverence, and wonder. But the mystery remains, because in this palace of power, silence was once stronger than command, and time was not measured in days, but in dynasties. In the far southwest of China, where mountains kiss the sky and clouds seem to rest on the earth, lies Yunnan, a land of incredible diversity. Here, nature and culture intertwine in ways found nowhere else. Towering peaks from the tail of the Himalayas meet lush valleys where tropical flowers bloom. Deep river gorges cut through ancient stone, while quiet villages cling to the mountainsides like whispers from centuries past. Yunnan is home to over 25 recognized ethnic minorities, making it one of the most culturally rich regions in all of China. In markets and festivals, you'll hear a symphony of languages, see a rainbow of clothing styles, and taste flavors that can't be found anywhere else. The Bai, Naxi, and Dai people preserve customs passed down through generations. In dance, embroidery, wooden architecture, and even the way tea is shared. In the town of Dali, white-walled houses sit against a backdrop of snow-capped mountains and Irai Lake's shimmering waters. Nearby, the three pagodas have stood for over 1,000 years, resilient through wars and earthquakes. Then there's Lijiang, where canals wind through cobbled streets, and the melodies of the ancient Naxi orchestra float into the night. In the south, tropical forests echo with birdsong and the rustle of wild elephants, a living memory of a wilder China. Yunnan is not a place you simply visit, it's a place you feel. A land of altitude and attitude, of color and calm, where tradition isn't preserved in museums, but lives in the voices, footsteps, and hearts of the people. Welcome to Zhangjiajie, a surreal landscape in Hunan province that looks like it was painted by a dream. Towering sandstone pillars pierce through the mist, standing like silent guardians of the skies. It's no wonder that this place inspired the floating mountains in James Cameron's Avatar. But no movie can truly capture what it feels like to stand here, to breathe in the cool, cloud-laced air and look out over a sea of stone giants. Zhangjiajie is not a single view, it's a vast labyrinth of peaks, valleys, cliffs, and forests that stretch as far as the eye can see. The Tianzi Mountains, known as the Son of Heaven, offer some of the most majestic views in all of China. Here, the clouds wrap around the pillars like silk, revealing only what they choose, creating a living painting that changes with every gust of wind. To explore Zhangjiajie is to step into a fantasy world. Glass bridges stretch across canyons so deep you feel like you're walking in the sky. A glass elevator, built onto the side of a cliff, takes you up 300 meters in under a minute, revealing layer after layer of ancient rock and infinite horizon. Quiet trails lead you through bamboo forests and hidden waterfalls, where the only sound is the whisper of wind and the occasional bird call. Despite its grandeur, Zhangjiajie retains a deep spiritual stillness. Many local legends speak of immortals and ancient warriors who once roamed these peaks. and when the morning fog rolls in and swallows the landscape, it's easy to believe such stories are true. This is more than a scenic wonder. Zhangjiajie is a portal into China's wild heart, into a world untouched by time, and into a feeling you won't forget. Welcome to Hunan, the beating heart of south-central China, a province carved by mountains, cradled by rivers, and colored by history, revolution, and spice. Here, nature doesn't just surround you, it overwhelms you. Towering peaks rise like ancient guardians in Zhangjiajie, where mist curls around sandstone spires that defy gravity. In the morning, the land breathes, mountains float, rivers reflect the first light, and silence speaks louder than sound. But Hunan is more than landscapes. It's the birthplace of Mao Zedong, and the spirit of revolution still lingers in its soil. In the town of Shaoshan, Mao's childhood home has become a pilgrimage site, surrounded by museums and memorials where visitors come not just to remember, but to reflect. The province has played a central role in shaping modern China, and its people are known for their boldness, resilience, and fiery character. That same fire lives in Hunan cuisine. It's famous across China and the world for its unapologetic spice, bold flavors, and love of chili. Here, food is not just nourishment, it's identity. Dishes like duo jiao fish head, stir-fried smoked pork, and chili tofu tell the story of a land that embraces intensity, in taste, in personality, in life. Even the street food packs a punch, skewers sizzling on charcoal, sour pickled vegetables, and steamed buns bursting with heat and flavor. In Fenghuang ancient town, history feels alive. Stone bridges arc over slow-moving rivers, wooden houses balance on stilts, and red lanterns reflect on the water by night. This is the soul of traditional Hunan, preserved in its architecture, its festivals, and in the music of ethnic minorities like the Miao and Tujia. Then there's Dongting Lake, a vast, shimmering inland sea that has fed generations. Around it, lush wetlands and traditional fishing villages carry centuries of stories, of floods, resilience, and renewal. Not far away, the Yuelu Academy, founded over 1,000 years ago in Changsha, still stands as one of China's oldest institutions of learning, its philosophy echoing through time. Hunan is contradiction and harmony. Its ancient temples and revolutionary chants, spicy markets and serene mountain paths. It's where passion meets heritage, where landscapes take your breath away, and where the people leave an impression long after you've gone. In the heart of eastern China, where mist flows through ancient pine forests and villages cling to time-worn hillsides, lies Anhui, a province of poetic beauty and quiet strength. Here, nature and tradition walk hand in hand. The majestic Huangshan Mountain, or Yellow Mountain, rises above the clouds like a dream. Its granite peaks, twisted pines, and drifting seas of mist have inspired generations of Chinese painters, poets, and philosophers. But Anhui is more than just scenery. It's a cradle of classical Chinese culture. In towns like Hangzhou and Shidi, white-walled houses with black-tiled roofs reflect in still waters, architectural gems from the Ming and Qing dynasties. These UNESCO World Heritage villages feel frozen in time, where every stone lane whispers stories of scholars, merchants, and ancestors long gone. The region is also known for its Hui culture, from its ink painting tradition to intricate wood carvings and its own unique style of cuisine, rich with earthy flavors and slow-cooked mastery. In Anhui, you don't just see history, you walk through it. You breathe it in the mountain air, taste it in a bowl of bamboo shoots and braised tofu, and hear it in the quiet of a tea house overlooking the valleys below. It's not loud. It doesn't rush. But it lingers, like ink on rice paper, timeless and unforgettable. Tucked between mountains and sea along China's southeastern coast, Fujian is a province shaped by nature, history, and migration. Here, steep hillsides fall into misty rivers, fishing villages cling to the rocky shoreline, and winding roads pass through terraced tea fields. Fujian is not just a place, it's a rhythm. One shaped by generations of families who lived between mountain rain and ocean wind. Perhaps nothing reflects that resilience better than the two ancient earth buildings built by the Hakka people. These massive, circular structures, some over 700 years old, were designed like fortresses. Thick earthen walls protect dozens of families inside, all belonging to one clan. Inside, life unfolds around a central courtyard, shared kitchens, balconies, laughter echoing from one wooden level to the next. The Tulu are more than homes. They're living heritage, symbols of unity, protection, and harmony with the land. Coastal Fujian tells a different story, one of trade, connection, and openness. Cities like Quanzhou, once among the world's busiest ports on the maritime Silk Road, carry the legacy of centuries of seafarers, merchants, and cultural exchange. Today, you can still find Arab mosques beside Chinese temples, echoes of global encounters etched into every stone. And then there's Fuzhou, the provincial capital, a city that blends tradition and innovation. Winding alleys lead to tea houses and historic gardens, while across the river, glass skyscrapers reflect the glow of a rising tech hub. Fujian is known for producing some of China's finest teas, like tiguanyin and white tea, grown in its high mountain mists and harvested by hand with care passed down through generations. The region's cuisine is elegant and subtle, light broths, seafood, and umami-rich sauces made with fermented red yeast rice. It's food that speaks of ocean tides, hillside farms, and quiet patience. And beyond all that, the islands. Fujian stretches out into the sea with places like Pingtan and Xiamen, where sandy beaches and palm trees greet turquoise waters. In Xiamen's Galangiu Island, music drifts through European-style villas, and narrow stone lanes invite you to wander slowly, with no destination in mind. Fujian isn't loud. It doesn't need to be. It whispers through bamboo groves and temple bells, through ancestral homes and salty sea air. It's a place where cultures meet, where history is alive, and where the land itself seems to remember. In the southern reaches of China, where the mountains melt into mist and the rivers carve paths through green fields like calligraphy strokes, lies Guangxi, a land that feels more like a painting than a place. Known for its surreal beauty and deep cultural diversity, Guangxi is a region where nature speaks in poetry and tradition lives in every rhythm of daily life. The most iconic image of Guangxi is the Li River, winding like silk between the karst hills of Guilin and Yangshuo. These limestone peaks, jagged, towering, almost otherworldly, have inspired Chinese scroll paintings for centuries. A boat ride down the Li River is like floating through a dream. In the morning, mist hovers over the water, fishermen in bamboo hats glide silently on bamboo rafts, and water buffaloes wade lazily along the riverbanks. Along the way, villages appear like time capsules, clusters of whitewashed houses with tiled roofs nestled under the cliffs. In Hangzhou, tradition meets modern curiosity. Cobblestone streets bustle with travelers, cafes and local shops blend with ancient architecture, and the countryside becomes a canvas for exploration, whether by bicycle, hot air balloon, or hiking path. At night, the town glows with lantern light and echoes with folk music and laughter. But Guangxi is much more than landscapes. It's home to dozens of ethnic minorities, including the Zhuang, Yao, Miao, and Dong peoples, who together form one of the most diverse cultural tapestries in China. In the Longji rice terraces, the mountains are transformed into living staircases of green and gold in autumn. Built over 700 years ago, these terraces reflect the ingenuity of local farmers and the harmony between humans and the land. During planting and harvest festivals, women wear vibrant embroidered dresses, silver headdresses, and sing traditional songs handed down through generations. Travel deeper into Guangxi, and you'll discover the Chunyang Wind and Rain Bridge, a masterpiece of Dong architecture. Built without nails, using wooden beams interlocked like puzzle pieces, this bridge is more than a crossing. It's a gathering place, a symbol of community and endurance. Nearby, wooden drum towers rise in the center of Dong villages, where villagers still meet to share stories, music, and food. The region's cuisine is earthy and bold. Think river fish grilled with local spices, snail rice noodles, sour pickled vegetables, and dishes steamed in bamboo. Food here tells a story of seasons, rivers, and highland farms. In the south, Beijing, once a thriving port on the maritime Silk Road, opens to the Gulf of Tonkin. Its beaches are calm and warm, lined with palms and golden sand, while offshore, fishermen still collect pearls, a trade that has survived for centuries. The city's colonial-era buildings whisper of global encounters, while its seafood markets thrum with daily life. But perhaps Guangxi's greatest gift is its ability to make you slow down. To watch a sunset over the karst peaks of Yangshuo, to sip local tea in a stilt house above a rice field, to listen to the rustling of trees as wind moves through the terraces. In Guangxi, the world doesn't rush, it flows, like the Li River itself. Hidden in the misty mountains of southwest China, Guizhou is one of the country's most enchanting and least explored regions. This land is where clouds hang low, terraced fields cling to cliffs, and time seems to move slower. Often overlooked in favor of China's more famous destinations, Guizhou rewards the curious traveler with untouched beauty, deep-rooted cultures and a feeling of stepping back in time. Guizhou is home to dozens of ethnic minorities, including the Miao, Dong, Bai, and Yi, each with their own distinct language, costumes, and traditions. In mountain villages, women still wear elaborately hand-embroidered clothing, silver headdresses that shimmer in the sun, and celebrate festivals with music, dance, and drum beats that echo through the valleys. The Lushing Festival of the Miao people, for example, is a riot of color and sound, a gathering of thousands where courtship, competition, and celebration merge into one. The villages themselves are built in harmony with nature, wooden houses balanced on hillsides, narrow stone bridges crossing clear rivers, and covered pavilions where elders gather to drink tea and tell stories. In Zhaoxing, one of the largest Dong villages, the central drum tower still stands as the heart of community life, a place for announcements, singing, and shelter during the rain. But Guizhou's charm is not only in its culture, it's also in its extraordinary natural landscapes. The Huangguashu waterfall, one of Asia's largest, roars into a turquoise pool with thundering force, while karst caves, stone forests, and mist-shrouded valleys create scenes straight out of legend. The Libo Zhangjiang Scenic Area, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, offers winding rivers, bamboo groves, and clear pools so still they reflect the sky like mirrors. Guizhou is also the birthplace of Maotai, China's most famous and strongest liquor, made in the town of the same name along the Qishui River. Here, centuries-old distilling techniques are still used to create this national spirit, which has been served at state banquets and gifted to world leaders. Perhaps what makes Guizhou so memorable is not only what you see, but how it makes you feel. This is a place where hospitality is heartfelt, where strangers become friends over bowls of sour fish soup or local rice wine, and where every smile is an invitation. It is humble, authentic, and quietly magnificent. Off the southern coast of China, surrounded by the blue waters of the South China Sea, lies Hainan, often called China's Hawaii. With swaying palm trees, golden beaches, and tropical forests, Hainan offers a side of China few expect: warm, wild, and refreshingly laid back. The island's most famous city, Sanya, is a paradise for beach lovers. Resorts stretch along the coast, facing crystal-clear waters and coral reefs teeming with marine life. Visitors can snorkel, surf, or simply relax under the sun. But just a few kilometers inland, another world awaits: dense rainforests, hidden waterfalls, and traditional Li and Miao minority villages where culture has thrived for centuries. Women in the Li community are known for their unique weaving techniques and colorful costumes, while their ancient tattooing traditions still echo in local customs. Beyond nature and culture, Hainan also has a spiritual side. Nanshan Temple, perched beside the sea, features a 108-meter-tall statue of Guanyin, the goddess of mercy, one of the tallest Buddhist statues in the world. Pilgrims come here not just for worship, but for the tranquility that seems to radiate from sea to sky. Hainan is also a place of healing. The island is rich in hot springs, medicinal herbs, and has long been a center of traditional Chinese medicine. Many locals believe the clean air, mineral waters, and forested mountains contribute to the islanders' longevity. But what truly makes Hainan unforgettable is its rhythm. It's the gentle breeze through coconut groves, the sizzle of fresh seafood on a grill at night markets, the sound of waves brushing against fishing boats, and the peaceful coexistence of tradition and modern tourism. Here, life doesn't hurry. It flows, like the tide, soft, steady, and full of promise. From ancient walls to neon skylines, from whispering bamboo forests to roaring waterfalls, China is a land of contrast, complexity, and breathtaking beauty. As we end this journey, one thing becomes clear: you don't just visit China, you feel it. You feel it in the hush of a morning mist over Guilin, in the warm smile of a tea farmer in Hangzhou, in the thunder of 1,000 years echoing through Xi'an's ancient stones. You feel it when a panda stares back at you with quiet curiosity, when a monk chants beneath golden eaves, or when a bowl of street noodles tastes like comfort and memory. China isn't a place you check off a list. It's a living story, vast, vibrant, and still unfolding. Every corner of this country carries echoes of the past and whispers of the future. In a single day, you might sip tea from a 1,000-year-old recipe, step into a temple older than most nations, and ride a bullet train at 350 kilometers per hour. That is the rhythm of China, timeless and ever-changing. So wherever you are in the world, we hope this journey has opened your eyes, sparked your curiosity, and perhaps even stirred your soul. Maybe you're already dreaming of standing on the Great Wall, of drifting along the Li River at sunrise, or of hearing festival drums echo in a mountain village. If this video has inspired you, if it made you pause, wonder, or smile, we'd be honored if you joined us. Subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up, and share it with someone who loves to travel. Your support helps us keep telling the world's most beautiful stories. One journey at a time. Until next time, keep exploring, keep dreaming, and remember, the world is wide and wonder awaits around every corner. This is not goodbye, it's just the end of one path and the beginning of another. See you on the next journey.